You know about trust and love. Have faith in the person you love and in your gut. Please, I don't want to. Please do it. Don't go. Please stop, 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 stop. The public divorce case involving Shiloh Jolie-Pitt has taken a dramatic turn when she decided to change her last name. Brad Pitt's worst fears are coming true and he can't say a word. We all feel broken sometimes. You choose the best thing to do and move on. So it didn't bother her that I was very. Recently, long-buried problems came to light in this broken family, which made the intense split between Pitt and Angelina Jolie even worse. Now that their daughter has chosen to take off her father's name, it's a big step away from her past that go beyond just family ties. Tell me, honey, why are you this way? Why do you want to make me think that? What? That means you can be the victim? What made you decide to do this so quickly? What else does this family not want you to know? Come with us as we talk about the event that caused Shiloh Pitt to change her name. It's clear that everyone gets mad, so who gets to see the maleficent side of you? Sure thing, Brad. Cutting ties with family. In Hollywood, relationships go through ups and downs all the time, but Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's story has been more interesting than most. Pitt and Jolie met on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, while Pitt was still married to Jennifer Aniston. When they first got together, it caused a lot of fuss. Even though things got off to a rough start, they seemed to be a good couple for more than 10 years. After that, Jolie's choice to file for divorce in 2016 shocked Hollywood and got Team Jen fans excited again online. From public issues to health problems, the couple had to deal with a lot during their 12 years together as they raised 6 children. What might have been the last straw? Since they broke up, new information about their marriage has come to light, telling us more about the path that led them to this point. Jolie and Pitt have been fighting over their divorce for almost 10 years, mostly over who gets to keep the kids and who owns the Chateau Miraval winery, which Wine Spectator says is worth about $162 million. They were only married for 2 years before Jolie filed for divorce in 2016. She told the court that it was soon after something that happened on a plane where she said Pitt grabbed her by the head, shook her, choked one of their children, and hit another. Pitt said that these reports were false and that nothing like that happened. In 2019, the court said they were no longer married, but the divorce process has been slow because of the winery conflict. When Pitt sued Jolie in 2022, he said she had broken their deal by selling her share without his knowledge. Jolie said that she sold it because Pitt reportedly tried to get her to sign an NDA that would keep her from talking about his alleged abuse outside of court. A Stoll Group company bought Jolie's share for $67 million, which was more than Pitt's offer of $54.5 million in 2021. After these upsetting and traumatic events, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's daughter Shiloh Jolie-Pitt has decided to drop her father's last name. Her lawyer says this was a hard decision. The court process began in May of last year, right after Shiloh turned 18. Given that these events have brought Brad Pitt to the public's attention, have they had an effect on his career? Brad Pitt. The focus is on your career. Brad Pitt's life is very different now than it was a year ago. He looked like he was coasting in March of last year. In Cambodia, Angelina Jolie got a new tattoo that was a sign of her commitment to her husband. And Pitt's biggest worry was that George Clooney was planning a big joke. Also, his name was tied to the kids of singer Melissa Etheridge in a joke, and Jennifer Garner made people feel nostalgic, being likened to Brad Pitt's divorce from Jennifer Aniston in 2005 and her breakup with Ben Affleck. At the time, not many people were interested in Pitt's personal life. They thought the busy dad of 6 was going about his normal life. Now, though, things are very different. Pitt is said to be working on a sculpture at the LA workshop of artist Thomas Hasago for hours on end, often listening to sad songs, which could be a sign that the effects of his recent breakup are still being felt. The Oscar-nominated actor's life has changed a lot since then. It used to be very safe, but now it's anything but normal. Like any other person, Brad Pitt went about his daily life while shooting Allied in England last April with Marion Cotillard and Lizzie Kaplan. Like many others, they are worried about world events and are on the cover of the New York Times T magazine. His wedding ring was a big part of that shoot, which is more obvious now that we look back on it. Soon after Angelina Jolie filed for divorce, it came out that the Los Angeles County Department of Children and Family Services and the FBI were looking into what happened between Pitt and his son Maddox on a private jet from Europe to Los Angeles. This got the federal government involved. The problems that the once enviable Brangelina family had behind closed doors became public all of a sudden, destroying the image of their once happy life. As parents, they had always seemed united, even though their marriage had some rough spots. This could have been because they were making intense by the sea, which can make it hard for any couple to get along. Brad Pitt's life changed quickly. He had to hire a lawyer to defend himself in court and work on getting along with his kids again, especially Maddox, who is 15. Pitt didn't move in with Jolie and the kids when they moved to a rental in Malibu. He was said to be devastated and hoped that the custody problems could be solved quickly. He was known as a very involved dad. Pitt stayed out of the press by skipping the premiere of Voyage of Time on September 28th, where he was supposed to be the host. He was linked to co-star Marion Cotillard, but she rejected any relationship and wished Pitt and Jolie peace. Soon the police found that Pitt had done nothing wrong. However, Jolie kept temporary full custody of the kids while Pitt watched them with someone else. They were gone at first, and he only saw them for a short time. It was only a few weeks after they asked for shared custody. He was seen having a movie night under the stars with Julia Roberts. Pitt spent Thanksgiving by himself at Chateau Miraval, taking care of the family's wine and olive oil business. Being watched by a lot of people made him angry, so he asked that court papers be kept secret. But at first, Jolie said no. She even told him he would have to take drug tests if he wanted to come see her often. The family got back together for a short time to exchange Christmas gifts. By the beginning of January, Jolie had agreed to keep the case secret. Pitt surprised everyone by showing up at the Golden Globes in January. He looked younger but much thinner. Later, he was seen hanging out with friends at events and throwing a private party. My life goals right now are pretty easy. I just hope I don't have to do Ocean's 14 because of money issues. Jolie wanted the kids to keep traveling the world instead of going to school in Los Angeles, and Pitt was said to be going to a fancy rehab center. After a long silence, Jolie finally talked about their breakup in February, calling Pitt a great dad. Pitt has stayed out of the public eye by not going to the Oscars and spending most of his time with his kids in Los Angeles. His group of friends stays close, including being friends with Jennifer Aniston, his ex-wife. But reports that they were back together were not true. Pitt's next public appearance might not be until he finishes his current art project. The release date for his new movie, War Machine, is still unknown. It's clear that this famous Hollywood actor's split and being away from his kids have been very hard on him emotionally. What about Angelina Jolie, though? Has the effect been just as strong on her? You know why I'm here. Also, you have to try and fail to be a bad writer, which you haven't done. You're drunk, a supposed interruption in workflow. Angelina Jolie recently talked about how her divorce from Brad Pitt has changed her life and work. During an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Jolie talked about how much she loves directing, but that changes in her family life have made it hard for her to take on projects as a director over the past few years. And First They Killed My Father in 2017 said that being a director takes a lot of time and effort. She said she had to focus on shorter jobs and spend more time at home, which is why she went back to acting. She was lucky that she had parts in movies like Kung Fu Panda 3 and Mistress of Evil, the sequel to Maleficent. Since her split, Jolie has only been in a few movies, most recently Disney's 2019 movie Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. Maria is her first movie since Marvel's Eternals. Brad Pitt, on the other hand, has kept busy with his playing and producing roles in a number of movies, including The Lost City and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, for which he won an Oscar in 2019. Beasts and Bullet Train in 2022. Even though they had a past together, Jolie and Pitt seemed to stay friendly. She even bought a house in California only 5 minutes from Pitt's because she knew how important it was for their kids to be close to him. The two of them were formally adopted by Pitt in 2005. Word on the street is that Pitt and Maddox getting into a fight on a later flight helped Jolie decide to file for divorce. Maddox is now a student at Yonsei University in South Korea. He even went to a state dinner at the White House with Angelina Jolie in 2023. Next is Zahara, Jolie's first adopted daughter. She did voice work for Kung Fu Panda 3 and had a small role in Maleficent. In 2011, Jolie paid tribute to her family history by opening a center in Ethiopia called Zahara to help kids who have HIV or TB. Since then, Zahara has moved into fashion. In 2019, she launched her beauty line, Zahara Collection. In a touching piece written in 2020, Jolie wrote that Zahara had multiple surgeries that year and Pitt missed the BAFTAs to be with her while she healed. Shiloh is Jolie and Pitt's first real child. Since she was born in May 2006, she has been the center of attention. Shiloh stood out even when she was a baby. She liked dressing like a boy and asked to be called John, which Pitt and Oprah both liked. Recently, Shiloh has changed her style. She now has long hair and wears easy, casual red carpet clothes, like sneakers instead of heels. In 2022, Shiloh's dance video to Doja Cat's Vegas went popular and showed how talented she was. When she turned 18, she allegedly changed her name legally to Shiloh Jolie, which was the start of a new era. A person who knows Pitt well said that this choice was both sad and happy for him. It made him think of how far away his children are, but it also showed how much he loves and longs for them. 7 years ago, Jolie adopted Pax from Vietnam. He is her second oldest son. His name comes from a mix of Latin and Vietnamese words and means peaceful sky. A year after he was adopted, Pitt officially made him his son. Like some of his brothers, Pax tried his hand at acting in movies. He had an uncredited part in Maleficent and even did animal sounds for Kung Fu Panda 3. Jolie once talked about his love of music and DJing on BBC Radio, which showed how creative he is. Pax graduated from high school in Los Angeles in 2021, but he didn't go to the event to stay out of the spotlight. Then there are Knox Leon and Vivian Marshallin, twins who were born on July 12, 2008. Their names are important to their families. Knox honors Pitt's grandfather, Leon honors Jolie's grandfather, and Vivian's given name honors Jolie's mother, Mary Marshall. Vivian's first role was as a young Princess Aurora in Maleficent. She allegedly made $3,000 a week there. In the meantime, Knox did voice work for Kung Fu Panda 3, working with Angelina Jolie, who did voice work for Tigress. Both twins have found joy in being artistic. Knox had a gold ring made from one of his drawings of Maleficent as a Mother's Day present for Angelina Jolie. Vivian started karate in 2014. The two are often seen with Angelina Jolie on events, and in 2021, they went to the openings of Eternals with her. Not long ago, Vivian walked the red carpet with Jolie at the Broadway opening of Outsiders. On the playbill, Vivian was listed as Vivian Jolie. It's not clear if she's officially changed her last name, but these events have helped each Jolie-Pitt child find their own way, balancing their own interests, creative projects, and a strong connection to their family's rich cultural roots. Even though bad things have happened recently, these kids have stayed strong, no matter what other people think. By leaving Brad Pitt's name out of theirs, Shiloh, Vivian, and Zahara made it clear that they want to stay as far away from any kind of criticism and online drama as possible. At last, the court cases between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are over. How does Jennifer Aniston feel about this public divorce? Please tell us what you think in the comments. Don't forget to share, like, and follow for more. Also, click on the next video that comes up. It will be fun for you.